Biblically Centered Kids.
Hello and happy Sunday to everyone out there today. Today is November 10th, 2024. My name is Mr. Johnny, and I'm happy to be here with you. I hope you're happy to be here too. We're going to have a fun episode today. But first, today is a fun and unique holiday. It's actually International Tongue Twister Day. For International Tongue Twister Day, celebrated every second Sunday in November, don't get your tongue tied this November. We're not talking about rolling or curling your taste tester. In fact, we're looking at Peter Piper, the woodchuck, and all their friends. You know, tongue twisters are a silly way to pass the time or to practice your pronunciation. Shoot, you can even use them to practice a foreign language. All right, it's time to celebrate all things twisty you can say with your tongue. Here are some of the most popular tongue twisters. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Can you say that? Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Of course, you know this next one. She sells seashells by the seashore. She sells seashells by the seashore. She sells seashells by the seashore. Whew. It's a good thing I'm reading it. How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? I'm pretty good at that one. I'm going to see if I can say it fast. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Is that pretty good? All right, let's do one more, actually. A proper copper coffee pot. I actually have never heard this one. A proper copper coffee pot. So you're saying a proper copper coffee pot. A proper copper coffee pot. Woo! Okay, well, those kind of twist my tongue, right? All right, let's see if I can come up with an original tongue twister. Are you ready? Let's see. 7 slippery snails slide silently southward. 7 slippery snails slide silently southward. 7 slippery snails slide silently southward. Well, snails sure can be slippery. Wasn't really as good as some of the classics though, right? All right, let's move on because you know today is our Sunday draw along. So go get your paper, your pens, your pencils, your markers, your crayons, your colored pencils, and your 7 slippery snails, and get ready to do our draw along. I'm going to give you 30 seconds to go get your supplies, and then I'll see you right back here. All right, do you have your supplies? Fantastic. We're going to do our drawing on our paper horizontally. This means your page will be sideways, so the long sides of your page will be the top and bottom, and the short sides of your page will be the left and right sides.
Got it?
Well, we've been talking all about serving this week with our virtue. So I figured we would draw our New Testament story from this week of the friends lowering their friend down to Jesus. That was a great story that illustrates the beauty when the friend's faith and initiative meets the presence of Jesus. That's when miracles happen. All right, so for starters, like we mentioned in the story this week, the house that this miracle happened in was very crowded. So in our image, Jesus will be standing in the middle with people all around. So I'm going to give you a few minutes just to draw some people on the left and the right side of your page, just standing there looking at what's going on. And then we'll come back and we'll draw Jesus in the middle and the man being lowered from the top. So take these next few minutes and just draw a crowd of people on your page. All right, now that that's done, we're going to draw Jesus in the middle of our page. Okay, so I'm going to kind of walk you through how I draw Jesus. You can, of course, do him however you like, but I'm going to draw him standing in the middle, and he's going to be kind of looking up with his hand raised, almost as if he's welcoming the paralyzed man down. Okay, so I'm going to draw his head first. His head will be about halfway up our page. That's about how tall he's going to be. And the intention is for us to see his whole body, but if you run out of space, that's fine. So I'm going to draw his head first, looking up. Make sure you give him maybe some long hair and a beard. All right, I'm going to draw his arm reaching up. Then the other arm kind of coming down to his side and kind of crossing over his stomach. I'm going to have him kind of wearing a sash. It doesn't mean Jesus always wore a sash, but for some reason in images, it just seems to help him stand out that you know that this is Jesus that we're looking at. So I'm going to draw a sash that goes from his shoulder down to his stomach. And then I'm going to draw some feet and some sandals. Okay, and now, so they're in a house. We haven't really drawn much of a background yet, and we'll get there. But first, before we do the background, I'm just going to draw the man being lowered in the mat, okay? So first, I'm going to draw the mat. Okay, and he's obviously going to be a little bit higher than your Jesus. So I'm going to draw the mat that he's kind of laying in. So it's almost like you're drawing his body, but instead of seeing like all of his pants and everything that he's wearing, you just see kind of the shape of his body in the mat. And then I'm going to draw on the left side of the mat, his head kind of poking out like he's looking down, like, don't drop me, guys. And then on the right side, I'm just going to draw kind of like his legs poking out, coming down. Okay. And now I'm going to draw the background. So they're standing in a house. So about right where Jesus' knees would be. And of course, don't hit any of the people in the crowd. I'm just going to draw a line that goes across that's going to symbolize where the bottom of the wall is and where the floor starts. So I'm just going to draw a line that comes straight across. So that's going to symbolize the floor. And then you can texture the floor. A lot of floors back then were made out of stone. So I'm just going to draw just a few patterns of circles or rough squares on the floor. All right, so I got my floor pattern. Okay, now where the man is being lowered from the top, kind of right where the top of his head is, I'm going to draw another line that goes left and right to symbolize where the ceiling starts. Okay, and we're going to say that the walls of this building are also made of stone, but maybe more rectangular shaped stone, obviously, that you need to help stack. So I'm just going to draw a few patches of rectangular stone. You can even draw a doorway on one side if you would like. Okay, so I got my little stones there to kind of symbolize the difference between the floor and the top. Okay, so now we know that these friends are lowering him from the ceiling. So we have that line where his head is being lowered. So right above that, we're going to draw 4 friends kind of peeking in. So it's almost like there's going to be an opening in the ceiling, and all we're really going to see is their heads poking in. So first, I'm going to draw their 4 heads. So I'm just going to draw 4 heads right above him looking down at him. Okay, now I'm going to draw the guys on the left and right. So I got 4 heads. My guys on the right and left, I'm going to have their arms kind of reaching in like they're reaching out towards their friend. And then I'm going to draw a line right underneath him that symbolizes that's where the bottom of the opening is. And then you can finish the opening that kind of goes around them. So it looks like an opening in the roof. All right, so now what I have is I have the crowd of people to the left and right of my page. I have Jesus in the middle. I have their friend being lowered in the middle with them in the opening in the roof looking down at him. Oh, I forgot to add ropes. We got to have ropes attaching to him for him to be lowered. So from the opening, I'm going to have ropes coming down, kind of holding where he is on the mat. All right, there we go. So we have him being lowered down. I've got the ropes now, so he's not just levitating there. He's actually being lowered. The crowd of people looking around, Jesus looking up, welcoming him into the room. And that's our drawing. So how is your drawing looking? Does it look good? What do you think? Does it need any finishing touches? Do you need more time? Well, if you do, you can always backtrack and listen to some of the instruction again. Or you can just pause and get it how you want it to be. And then once you're done and you think it looks pretty good, that's when you break out your colors and make this bad boy pop. And when it's done, keep it, just like with your drawings and just like we say every week. Keep it in a safe spot. And you can look back on it someday and be reminded about how we can seize opportunities to serve the world around us. Have a great rest of your Sunday, and we thank you so much for listening to the Biblically Centered Kids podcast this week. We have a brand new batch of episodes starting tomorrow. Moving on to Virtue T. And Virtue T says,
Snurra var det var vi vill se, nu är det bara för mig,